He held my contract high like a trophy. Then, with a smug grin, he fed it to the shredder in front of the entire board. The blades chewed through years of my work as he spoke. "This is what your loyalty is worth." Laughter followed, his, not mine. But it died the moment my lawyer slid the original digital copy across the polished mahogany table. The boardroom fell silent as his finger tapped one line. Paragraph 7. Breach of contract forfeits all 34 patents back to me. Me, the original inventor. His smirk vanished. I remember the first time I met him. He was charm personified. Expensive suit, easy smile, the kind of man who could make you believe gravity bent for him. I was young, raw, burning with ideas that kept me awake at night. He called me a genius, said my inventions would change the world. He promised partnership, respect, a brotherhood built on vision. I shook his hand that night, not realizing I had just signed away pieces of my soul. Back then, loyalty was my weakness. It wasn't sudden, the betrayal. It came in whispers. Meetings I wasn't invited to. Credits shifted subtly in press releases. My name pushed further down, his further up. Then the first patent filed, without me listed. I confronted him. He laughed it off, said it was a clerical error. I wanted to believe him, but the errors multiplied. And soon, my inventions were being paraded as his. The final blow came during a product launch. Cameras flashing, investors buzzing. He took the stage, held my creation in his hand and said, "I built this." That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark, the applause still echoing in my head, and felt something in me snap. Not anger, not sorrow, clarity. I didn't storm into his office. I didn't beg, didn't rage. Instead, I went back to the beginning, the contract. Every line, every clause. I read it until the words blurred, until my eyes burned. And there it was, almost invisible in its simplicity. Paragraph 7. Breach of contract forfeits intellectual property. All of it. A safeguard I had insisted on years ago, back when I still believed he might betray me. My paranoia had been my salvation. So I stayed quiet, collected evidence. Every forged signature, every missing credit, every breach. I let him dig his own grave, smiling while he called me obsolete, irrelevant, replaceable. He didn't know the noose was already around his neck. The day of the board meeting, he walked in like a king returning to his throne. The board adored him. Investors worshipped him. I was a relic in their eyes. He placed the contract on the table, tore it into strips, and fed it into the shredder. The machine groaned, metal teeth swallowing paper. He looked at me as it disappeared and spat words meant to humiliate. "This is what your loyalty is worth." The board laughed with him. I didn't. Instead, I nodded to my lawyer. He slid the untouched original across the table. The silence was surgical. The board members leaned forward. My lawyer's voice cut through the room, sharp and cold. Paragraph 7. Breach of contract forfeits all intellectual property, patents, designs, and prototypes back to the original inventor. All eyes turned to him. His face drained of color as he read. He tried to protest, but the language was airtight. His own arrogance had blinded him to the clause he had signed years ago. "Impossible," he muttered, flipping pages as if the words might vanish. But they didn't. The patents he stole, the empire he built, it all reverted to me in that instant. The board erupted, but I stayed silent. I wanted him to feel every second. I watched as the realization settled in. The empire he claimed as his own was never his. The investors shifted, calculating new loyalties. His power, his authority evaporated in real time. He tried to laugh, but it came out cracked, desperate. Do you know what this means? You'll destroy everything we built. We? No, everything I built. The vote was unanimous. Control transferred. The patents, the heart of the company, were legally mine again. Him? He was left with nothing but shredded paper at his feet. As the boardroom emptied, he stayed slumped in his chair, staring at the shredded strips, as if he could piece them back together and erase what had just happened. I didn't look back. Do I regret it? No. He shredded paper. I shredded his empire. He thought loyalty was weakness. He thought betrayal was power. But he forgot one truth. Contracts end, but consequences don't. And paragraph 7 was always waiting for him.